Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request from Mr. Blockworld. So it's another AI reaction video. He wanted me to react to posters that he made using AI. These are always fun to do, and I have a bit of a cheat sheet here he sent me to explain what some of these are. So Mr. Blockworld, thank you so much for your kindness. I really appreciate it. This will be fun like always. If anyone wants to request any type of videos, movie review, re-review, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. So let's get into it. As just for syncing issue, let's go to the Eye of the Fox now. So Aesop's Fables, Timeless Tales, Lessons for Life. Based on the class of stories, this is going to be embarrassing. I don't know what any of this is. Hell, I might have even heard of the stories, but I never knew they were Aesop's Fables, so I'll take the word for it. Although this does look like something of a poster that I could see, especially going on streaming or stuff. With all the animals there. Half of them not even looking at the camera. Like that, what's that wolf and turtle looking at? It's like, hey, you look over here. Look over here. What the fuck you doing? But yeah, I like the look of it. Angels with Filthy Souls. This is the movie within the movie of Home Alone. Keep the change, you filthy animal. Which, I'm surprised, well, I'm going to say they didn't do more with it. Technically, they did in the Home Alone 2. I don't know. I wonder whatever happened to that guy. He may no longer be with us, but I wonder whatever happened to that guy. Cause I'm surprised, like, years after Home Alone, they didn't try to do something with them in some way, shape, or form. I don't know what, but, some kind of either promotional thing, play up that. I mean, part of me would have been interesting to see what the full film would have been with those movies within the movies. Armed and Dangerous 2. Yeah, I do like the first film. I mentioned before I like to give the first film another look sometime down the road. Because I do remember liking it. Directed by Mark L. Lester, the guy who did Commando. I was thinking about, because I got the request to what if John Candy was in Nobody. And I'm like, well, he did action with Armed and Dangerous. I would have been fine with seeing the sequel. I thought John Candy and Eugene Levy had good chemistry with each other. So yeah, I would have been perfectly fine to see a sequel. But sadly the film bombed, so that was never a case. But I would love to have seen it, sure. At Midnight. John Carpenter project co-written with longtime collaborator Tom Lee Wallace. When the clock strikes 12, the night strikes back. At midnight. Huh. Hey, starring Caruso and T. David, I'm down for it. So this was a real project? I like the look of the poster. See, I wonder, like, how does he do it, like, at midnight, it looks like that? Like, what are the prompts to make, like, the title look like this? Is there something specific? I want at midnight, but I needed to look, like, what would even the prompt be? To look like just 80s? To look like metal? Like, I'd be very curious what the prompts were. Same with this, like, okay, I need a clock in the background with a building with the skull, and then there's veins. I just wonder what the prompts would be, because I won't know how to do any of that. What the details? Because I love to make like a selection of like Raphael. Like if the Ninja Turtle Raphael was an actor and starred in like a bunch of action and horror movies like this, but I wouldn't know how to do that. I've done a couple, but not as detailed. Like this, that's really cool. I especially like the clock. It's like the building, but the eyes make it evil. Definitely mysterious. Maybe he's like Constantine. That could be interesting. Batman. What if John Carpenter directed Batman in the 80s? R-rated horror vibe, creature motif, heavily emphasized. Teaser poster, quote from Curtis Bruce Wayne, the new Batsuit, Willem Dafoe as Joker, Lee Van Cleef as Jim Gordon, David Niven as Alfred. Well, first off, I like that teaser poster. I like the way the Bat Signal looks. That's a really cool teaser poster. Kurt Russell was widely rumored. I would love to have done that. When the good guy's not a good guy, that's interesting. Did Kurt Russell actually say that? I never heard that. I never knew Kurt Russell did that. I mean, that he said that. I mean, Kurt Russell, I could definitely buy. I could definitely buy him. Absolutely. Okay, I don't really like this as a new Batsuit. I mean, if they try to do what they did in the deleted scene in Batman Forever, where like Bruce Wayne's having a nightmare and this kind of symbolizes him becoming Batman. But as an actual Batsuit, no, I would not like this in the wings. Like as an actual Batsuit, I would not like the face and stuff. Willem Dafoe, I know a lot of people thought of him as the Joker. I think you can make it work. Lee Van Cleef as Jim Gordon, interesting because he worked with John Carpenter and Steve from New York. David Niven, I could definitely see that. Teaser poster for the third Michael Keaton Batman, based on Batman Revolution book. Batman faces Norman Pincus, a Gotham Globe puzzle columnist using the pen name Edward Nidma, who sees himself as Batman's intellectual rival and eventually transforms into the criminal mastermind known as the Riddler, with the city's future hanging in the balance. You know what? I mean, Michael Keaton versus Robin Williams and Robin as the Riddler, that would have been really cool to see. And to be honest, in retrospect, I wish we could have seen that other than Batman Forever. Or instead of, I should say, instead of Batman. Because Batman Forever, I don't think has aged well. I know people like that film. I liked it when I was a kid. I do not think that film holds up today. I don't. If I watch Batman Forever, I don't hate the film, but I think it's a lot of cringeworthy lines, cringeworthy humor, cringeworthy moments. And I just, for me personally, just me, I don't think Batman Forever holds up. And Batman Robin was dog shit. But I would rather have seen this. The teaser post, well, I mean, is that just on a building or something? Or is that on a shore? I'm trying to see where that question mark's coming from. Is that like a roof and then this Riddler sign is like on a... I wonder if you had like the bat symbol and then this question mark kind of in the middle there like that. Like the bat symbol and then you have the question mark. But I never heard of the Revolution book. That's interesting. You know what's funny? I remember this project announced back a long time ago. John Hughes developed his live-action family comedy about an architect whose life unravels as he becomes obsessed with destroying a bee in his house, inspired by Hughes' own farm and conservation work. Daniel Stern was set to direct? That's interesting. Steve Martin was considered for the lead. The film was ultimately canceled following Hughes' departure from Hollywood and the box office failure of Baby's Day Out that same year. But I remember... I think there were a few other actors, too, that were looking into this. And I could see that concept working. Because I would kind of picture, like, the... There's a film I like called Of Unknown Origin, but like if you really, really go further into the comedic route, where he's like not paying attention, then he's trying to kill it, and then maybe he breaks like a cup of coffee or something, and then like he sprays it, but somehow the bee escapes. He it keeps him up at night. He's like he just doing what he can to stop this thing, and it just won't fucking leave him alone. And yeah, if you did someone like Steve Martin, I think you could make that work and be rather funny. It's easy to be physical, but then and he's a good actor. That's a film I would not have minded to see. I actually don't mind Baby's Day Out. Actually, let me make sure to go here. Beyblade, based on the spinning toys. I barely remember the spinning toys. Yeah, I barely remember them. I don't mind the poster is very colorful and very epic looking for this kind of concept. Bloodborne. I've heard the video game. I've never played it. A lot of people seem to like the video game. I do like the oil painting look of the background. I think that's really cool. The blood dripping from the weapon. I think, and again, the background is like an oil painting. I think that's a really neat design. I think that looks really cool. Booster Gold. Never heard of the comic, but the name I heard because there were times they were trying to make this movie, and I'm sure with, well, if James Gunn stays at Warner Brothers, as they're being auctioned off to different parts, and whoever gets this part of Warner Brothers, and they keep James Gunn around, he probably will want to do something like this because trying to stretch out the brand and trying to get these characters out there, like they're doing the Green Lantern TV show, a Clayface movie, because, yeah, people wanted a Clayface movie. No, they didn't, but I don't know much about the character, but I don't know, I just for some reason could see James Gunn trying to get something like that produced. War in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Vaguely remember that. Never played the computer game. I remember the game show that was on PBS. That people really had to know their geology. They really had to know their history. They really had to know where each country was and the continents and know bits about those countries. And because it was, PBS. It's a game show, but it's meant for kids to learn things. So I remember seeing that a few times. And a catchy song, "Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?" But yeah, I remember back in the day, I only had 4 TV channels, and 2 of them were the same, so technically 3 TV channels. So, hey, I saw this movie on VHS for the 50th time. Let me see what's on TV, and oh, it's the news. The news. Okay, I'll watch Where in the World Carmen Sandiego. Okay, it's a game show of some sort. I haven't seen that in forever, though. But, yeah, maybe they'll try to make this one day. Try to get some nostalgia. The Cat from Outer Space. A Disney remake. I don't remember the original. Yeah, it looks like the cat from Captain Marvel. Maybe they'll do that. They'll do like a fucking prequel to that cat for Disney Plus. Charlie Chan. A modern, respectful adaptation of the character from the novels. I do like that. The idea that T. Hoi Kwan, Short Round from Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, he's the reason I liked the film Love Hurts, although that's a flawed movie. to him, to have the opportunity to be a lead and be like this James Bond adventurer, Uncharted, like that type of film, I'd see that, man. I would see that because I like T. Hoi Kwan. I'd love to see him get the opportunity. But because Love Hurts was such a bomb, I don't think he's going to get much opportunities nowadays to be the leading man, Sally. Because Love Hurts was a big bomb. Which is a shame, but that's, the reality of it. I don't recognize who she is. Chubby Rain, the movie within Bowfinger, yeah. Bowfinger's a very fun film. And they're getting this actor, and they're secretly taping him and make a movie without him knowing it. Gotcha, suckers! Or Chubby Rain. I actually it would have been fun to see the whole movie within the movie, like how the hell they got so much footage to do a full-length film and what the hell that would have been. That would have been funny to see. Fate Purse Ninjas. That doesn't quite look like Eddie Murphy. Even his character in the second character, Jiff, in... Yeah, that doesn't look like him at all. Really. Steve Martin kind of looks like Steve Martin. This guy, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Is it... Oh, shut up, cat. Cat wants in. But I do remember that being a fun bit at the end of Bowfinger. That was an entertaining way to end the movie. Combat, based on the TV show. I never saw the TV show with Vic Morrow, John Bernthal, Josh Brolin. Of course, the only thing they can't take away, Combat. Yeah, I wouldn't know the story or the plot of it, but hey, I like the poster. Poster looks cool. Oh my god, this cat is pissing me off. I'm gonna have to, stop. I'm gonna have to go in there and... Oh my god. God damn. Sorry if you didn't hear that. God damn. Condor Man, I vaguely remember that film. I mean, honestly, he kind of looks like a Falcon. I mean, you just changed the helmet. It's Falcon from Captain America, but... Yeah, Condor Man. The outfit there looks better than he does in the original movie, I will say that. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, I remember John Carpenter wanted to do this. Because I think he wanted to do this and Rick Baker was going to do The Creature. But things didn't work out. And then kind of as a compromise, he did Village of the Damned. Did you tell? I don't mind Village of the Damned. I think it's okay. But his heart wasn't in it as much as the others, I think because he really wanted to do this film instead. So, it is how it is. But it would have been really cool to see his version of Creature from the Black Lagoon. I kind of wish he was able to do that. And I think that's a cool poster. I love the design, I'm not really a fan of the original 50s movie, but I do think the design of the creature is really cool. I think that's the best part of the movie. So I actually would like to see a remake of that film, but at that time period with a guy like John Carpenter. Nowadays, they'd fuck it up. A Descent into the Maelstrom. Based on Edgar Allan Poe's story. Terror has depth. Never read the Edgar Allan Poe story, so I don't know the story of it, but I do like the look of it. I like all the color scheme here. I think that looks really cool. I like the text here. That's like a lot of John Carpenter films. The font. Don't open your mouth. Something's going to win it. But that looks really cool. The Devil's Triangle. UFO film set in the Bermuda Triangle that would have starred Marlon Brando, Charlton Heston, and Steve McQueen. A William Friedkin film. Now, see, I don't know if this is a film that was supposed to happen or, he did this for the fun of it. Which, either way, that'd be a hell of a cast in one film. And then William Friedkin? I mean, I don't see William Friedkin doing that kind of movie, but I don't know. With that cast, I mean, I definitely would have seen it. That was a cool looking cast, I gotta say. That would have definitely intrigued me. Executioner, I did hear about this. 1980s adaptation of the Vigilante Butch series that would star Sylvester Stallone and Cynthia Rothrock. William Friedkin attached. Yeah, Cynthia Rothrock has talked about this, although briefly. Production was scrapped reportedly because Stallone wanted to distance himself from certain types of roles at the time, which was a mistake. Because to work with William, I mean, I don't know if Stallone and William Friedkin would have worked well together, because Stallone likes to be in control of stuff, and William Friedkin, I don't think would have liked that. So yeah, I don't know if they would have gelled well together. But yeah, Cynthia Rothrock and Sylvester Stallone, that would have been really cool to see, and that's a shame that didn't happen. I think that could have definitely helped propel Cynthia Rothrock's career. But yeah, that's a shame that didn't happen. I would have rather seen that than Rampage. I know a lot of people like Rampage. I'm not really a fan of that film. I would have much rather seen this. Now, I don't know if he would have been dressed like this, but I don't know. Stallone in a vigilante film I would love to have seen. Absolutely. Hell yeah. Doesn't quite look like Cynthia Rothrock, but that's definitely a good Stallone. She kind of looks like, I don't know, someone's mother. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Van Damme was attached to play a superhero of sorts who had to fight villains who created an artificial intelligence drone predator. I've never heard of this. What year would this have been? The skies have a new predator. Falcon Man. AI drones. I've never heard of this. I don't have my fucking phone with me, otherwise I would have looked. And I can't do it here because I'll mess with the recording. But Falcon Man, okay. It depends what time period it was made in. Could have been interesting. Based on the SNL skit, Brian Fellows Safari Planet. I didn't watch SNL at that time, so I never saw these skits. I'm not a big Tracy Morgan fan. I really don't think he's that funny. He was annoying and cop out, so hey, people like him, cool, but I'm not a Tracy Morgan fan. Never thought he was that funny. Based on the Joseph Heller novel about a middle-aged Jewish English professor with a failing marriage and lackluster literary career, who gets the opportunity to become the first ever Jewish Secretary of State after favorably reviewing the president's book. Desperate for success, Gold is willing to divorce his wife and marry the daughter of an anti-Semitic elder statesman to secure the position. That already seems like such a whirlwind of ideas to try to get the audience figured that I kind of already lost interest halfway reading that plot synopsis. So, and Wes Anderson, I'm not a big Wes Anderson guy anyway. Not really into Wes Anderson stuff. The Life Aquatic, no. Yeah, I'm not a big Wes Anderson guy. I'll take a pass on that. Gulliver's Travels. Chris Hemsworth, yeah, I would take a pass. I mean, it would hopefully be better than the Jack Black movie. It's just Chris Hemsworth, unless it was a Strachan or a Strachan 2, he makes pretty shitty films. Well, Thor, the first one. Thor Ragnarok I could watch, but it's definitely, my enjoyment's dived down a bit. But, I don't know. This would be another flop. I know it'd be another Chris Hemsworth flop. And, yeah. I like the poster though. I like the artwork. I remember this idea. John Carpenter was going to direct it. Clive Barker was going to write it. Michael Myers against Pinhead after a puzzle box is opened at the Myers house. Despite the creative talent's interest, the project was permanently shelved due to strong resistance from Halloween franchise producers Mustafa Akkad, and the eventual separation of the franchise rights made the crossover impossible. I don't know why Mustafa Akkad would give a fuck. This would have made money. I don't care how bad the film was. Number one, Jamie Lee Curtis would not have been in it. But I don't care how bad the fucking film was. This film would have made money. And you know what? With John Carpenter directing, I wonder what about the project intrigued him. This seems like a project that he would be absolutely against. John Carpenter? But maybe because he likes Clive Barker, any chance to work with Clive Barker, maybe, he would have taken that chance. I do like this artwork though too. I like the way Michael Myers and Pinhead look. I like the fog in the background. I think that's a really cool looking artwork. I do. That is really cool looking artwork. I would say this is my favorite poster in this collection so far. I really like the way that looks. That looks really neat. Oh, this is okay, and he just put ideas that he has. The initiation. A young up-and-coming Hollywood actress is lured into a mysterious cult that promises her stardom, loosely inspired by the P. Diddy case. Where's the baby oil? Well, number one, that reminds me of other films. Like the Neon Demon. Kind of did that, although I wasn't a fan of the Neon Demon. I'm on a few other films. And then there is a movie called The Initiation back in the day that was kind of like a slasher film. And with this, people would think it would be a remake. Is it a remake of The Initiation? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem unique enough to really make me jump and go, yes. Of course, it's all in the execution. It'd be all in the execution. But as an idea, I'd be like, eh. Yeah. I feel like I've seen that movie before. That's just me. Jabberjaw. I heard of the cartoon. I never saw it. But it felt like they were trying to do stuff like Scooby-Doo, where you have the group and then you have the mascot, Scooby, in this case, Jabberjaw. Were they part of a band? I mean, that's how little I know about the show. I didn't know they were part of a band. Well, I don't know. I mean, whoever gets Warner Brothers, they want to really throw shit out. Maybe this will be another movie they'll do for streaming. Because streaming, they want content. Oh, you know what? That is clever. Because they are doing a Kill of Tomatoes movie. There is a Kill of Tomatoes sequel. I don't know if Mr. Blockworld knows this, but they are doing a Kill of Tomatoes sequel. It's not a big budget remake though, but they are doing that. And try and look at who's here. I think that's Kevin Hart, and is that Scarlett Johansson? Is that supposed to be Bob Odenkirk or something? First off, I like the look of these tomatoes, but this is clever. You know, the Rotten Tomatoes, 100% certified killer. Okay, they need to do that. If they ever do a Killer Tomatoes remake, does it again they're doing a sequel and no one's going to give a shit, it's low budget, no one's going to do it. But if they did like something with actual promotion, they need to do this. This whole thing here needs to be a thing. That is, if you team up with that, bravo to you. That is fucking clever. That is absolutely clever. It's so clever that the higher ups won't think of that shit. But that actually, that's a very clever idea. That and the look of these guys, I'm sold on the idea. They'll eat up Kevin Hart. Snack pack. Damn it! I put it on the. Try and go back and forth to, because I gotta lower this list here. So my cheat sheet he gave me. Like, share, subscribe, or die. In the near future, America has become a place where you need to get a certain number of followers to survive, or else you're killed. Well, they kind of did this already on a Black Mirror episode. But you don't die, it's just you either get more opportunities for a job or less opportunities for a job. And like your stance in society. Where you buy stuff, you do stuff, and they look at how many likes, dislikes you have, how popular you are, and that shows where you could go. But I mean, this, the idea of you'll die. You know what? That I could actually see being a movie. That I think could work out. Again, I saw similar to that on a Black Mirror episode, but if you take that, make it more a life and death struggle, you definitely have to work on the satire. So it's not. I mean, it's very easy to make it in your face with that, but about how people live and die and their psyche online of how liked me, but now here it's actual life and death. I mean, that could be. There's potential there. And I like Miles Teller. I wouldn't mind him starring it. I liked him as an actor. Dr. Fu Manchu. Modern respectful adaptation of the character from the novels. Well, I never read the I mean, to be honest, I never saw the films. Didn't like Christopher Lee starring a few of them. I'll be honest, I don't even know. Is he a bad guy or a good guy? I think he's a good. I don't know. I've seen some trailers that may seem like he was a bad guy. I don't know. I don't even know. See, that's how little I know the name, but I never saw the movie. So maybe did Donnie Yen as the character. Manhunt, based on the video game. See, that looks very cool. See, I want to know how to do that. Like, how you get all the cameras in the back. Like, what prompt is it? Show multiple cameras, but like each one's like consistent and dark and one signal lost. See, I don't know how to do any of that. But that looks cool. See, I wish I tried to do that with like Raphael starring in it when I did a topic on Manhunt, and it came out okay, but I wish I could like this is if I knew how to do this right. My favorite character, Raphael. Put him in stuff like that. That looks really cool. That I would say this is my second favorite poster so far. I liked a lot of them. Meltdown, Dolph Lundgren. In 1977, John Carver wrote The Prometheus Crisis. Later, Meltdown, which is described as Halloween in a nuclear power plant, about a nuclear meltdown scenario. Despite multiple attempts to produce the film, including a 1994 version of Dolph Lundgren that was shut down due to legal disputes over distribution rights, and a 1997 attempt with Casper Van Dien, the project has never been made. So yeah, when John Carper wanted to do it, Dolph Lundgren wasn't in the mix. And then when Dolph Lundgren, it seemed like more of a Die Hard type of movie and less of the horror movie. But yeah, actually... fuck off, cat. Oh my god, I got... Sorry, 1 second. Cats piss me off. They really do. I'll keep that in, why not? life in everyday life of that, having multiple cats, and I just did that, you know. I don't have a shock collar. I'm not fucking Hassan Piker. Anyway. But I like the look of Dolph's character. I like the gloomy atmosphere. That in the back looks like one of the ghosts from John Carpenter's The Fog. But yeah, I kind of like a mix of the two. Like John Carpenter's Halloween vibe and then the Dolph Lundgren at a power plant. Yeah. If done, I mean, I think when Dolph got involved in the 90s, it would have been more of a... like that movie, The Peacekeeper, that he did. I think it would have been more that route. But it would have been cool to see Dolph in this kind of movie. That would have been nice. But yeah, this one definitely seems more like the John Carpenter version, not so much the John Dahl version. Just John Dahl... from what I remember, the 94 version was more like Die Hard at a power plant type of thing. From what I remember hearing about it. The Ninja. John Carpenter's attached. A martial arts revenge story steeped in Japanese mysticism. Irvin Kershner, the original director, could not reach a deal with 20th Century Fox. Fox rejected Carpenter's screenplay as impossible to film, leading him to leave the project out of creative frustration, though he later channeled his interest in martial arts adventure with Big Trouble in Little China. I wonder what was so impossible to film with his script. I don't know what year this would have been, but I mean, you had Revenge of the Ninja, Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, you had American Ninja. Chuck Norris was in a film called The Octagon, which featured ninjas. So, would have been curious to see what John Carpenter would have done with that backdrop of ninja action. I do like the poster with the blood red moon. And hey, John Carpenter, I would have been curious to see what he would have done. Paradise Lost. Adaptation of John Milton epic poem that tells the biblical fall of man, beginning with Satan and his rebel angels cast into hell after their failed uprising against God. Seeking revenge, Satan journeys to the Garden of Eden, where he tempts Adam and Eve to eat the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge, resulting in humanity's expulsion from paradise. I don't know, that'd be a tall order to get for a movie. All that put in. I mean, it's definitely a epic, heavenly looking poster. I'll give you that. As a movie, probably a lot of CGI, and I don't know why I keep thinking of like Gods of Egypt or something. So as a movie, I wouldn't be interested in, but as a poster, it looks pretty cool. I'll say that. Oh, piss off. Stop. Pincushion. Yeah, post-apocalyptic action film directed by John Carpenter, described as a female-led Mad Max with Cher set to star as a mercenary transporting a child who holds the cure to a deadly virus. The project never materialized. Well, I like the skull figure in the clouds. I like the orange coloring pincushion. Again, like, how do you get that font? It's not Mr. Blockworld's fault. It's... why Cher? Cher? Cher is like... no, not Cher. Like, what the fuck would you want Cher for? And to be fair, she's not a bad actress. She was good in Mask. What I remember from Witches of Eastwick. But it just... I don't know. I'd have to see how it played out. I'll put it that way. I would have my doubts. I would have my doubts. Pray. 3 girls went up the mountain. 2 men were waiting. Definitely a mysterious poster. I'll give you that. 1975-1976 John Carver co-wrote Prey for Warner Brothers, a thriller about three teenage girls climbing Mount Tobias who are hunted by two murderous mountain men. Carpenter Phantom Black was requested Bob Clark to direct, but the project was abandoned due to casting problems. Two murderous mountain men. Sounds like Just Before Dawn or something like that. So mountain men stalking three teenage girls around a mountain. Well, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what Bob Clark would have done. Rest in peace to Bob Clark. I would see the posters very catching. They may go, okay, like mysterious. See, I just see a poster like that being around in the 70s. So I think it fits with the decade this would have come out in. So that's a good poster. Quick Draw McGraw, I forgot about Quick Draw McGraw, man. I haven't thought of that cartoon character in forever. But yeah, a lot of these characters are pretty much forgotten. You know, Quick Draw McGraw and other characters. The only time you ever saw them is when they try to do a live action like Yogi Bear and other stuff. But other than that, they're pretty forgotten. I mean, if they weren't content, it'd be nice to see these cartoon characters come back and get another shot, but not in a live action where they just deal with humans all the time. Like they try to do like Woody. I still have not seen that Woody Woodpecker movie, which looks like shit. I still haven't seen that one. Animation for them, they feel it would cost more. But yeah, it would have been nice to, see that stuff. Give them another shot, but more likely not going to happen. But an animated Western comedy with Quick Draw McGraw, I'd be curious to see that. Raggedy Ann and Andy. I remember those dolls. The 1977 film was the first movie I ever saw at the age of 3. Wow. How the hell do you remember seeing a movie at 3? You have a better mind than me. I can't remember what the fuck I was doing at 3 or 4 or at 5. So, good memory. I think that poster works perfectly for the characters. Are they brother and sister? So it'll be like, or are they, or not? Does that be like, I don't know. That's maybe the wrong kind of love. Red Dead Redemption, based on the... I never played the first Red Dead Redemption game. Never played the first one. I know some people like the first one more than the second, while the second is known as one of the best games ever. Which I feel bad that I stopped playing that, but I did talk to the guy, and the guy was very kind about it, and we did some substitutes for that, but that's a game you need like months. Just, it feels like you need like a whole month just dedicated just doing that. Because it's a long game. Rest Stop. I mean, I already like the casting. A trucker becomes a pawn in a rogue CIA operation, but when the mission goes awry at a rest stop, he must form an unlikely alliance with a stranded family to survive and expose the conspiracy. Does the whole movie take place at a rest stop, or... I didn't. Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I do like him as an actor. I'm already curious about it. I'd be curious to see what the whole... I'd be curious to see how it all played out. I'll put it that way. Riot. I remember this being mentioned. That's a cool look. Okay, that's definitely one of my favorite posters. That's a cool... In Hell, the only law is survival. Nicolas Cage. Riot. Because I remember that being announced. I'm like, wow, John Carpenter's going to do a movie about a prison riot and Nick Cage from Con Air and The Rock, he's going to be in it. I want to see that movie. And then it never happened. I don't know why it never happened. Prison thriller tells the story of a troubled youth who was sent to, want to steer you straight. They send these youths to prison, talk to prisoners, and the prison steer them. Well, this is what's going to happen to you when you're in prison. You don't do this, you don't do that, and try to steer them enough to stop doing crimes. But steered straight crime prevention program. When a riot breaks out and the prisoners take him hostage, a lifer played by Nick Cage is forced to help the young man out. Again, I'd be curious of, like, when you do the prompt, do you tell the story? I don't even know what program I think he mentioned what program he uses. I don't remember what program he uses. Because when I've done a little bit, I'd use the free Sora 1. And mine is like, hey, I want Raphael in an 80s film. Like, I never know what details to put in there. Ronnie Rocket, David Lynch's long unfinished passion project from the late 1970s about detectives seeking a mysterious second dimension while pursued by electricity-wielding donut men. Alongside the story of Ronald Duarte, a teenage dwarf who becomes dependent on electricity after a surgical mishap and transforms into a rock star Ronnie Rocket. Despite featuring many of Lynch's signature elements, the project never secured financing, leading Lynch to make the Elephant Man instead, though he continued developing the script throughout the 80s before ultimately abandoning it. It definitely sounds like a weird-ass fucking story. A detective seeking a mysterious second dimension, electricity-wielding donut men, a teenage dwarf becomes... weird-ass fucking story. I can see why people are like, I'm not sure about giving you money for this, dude. I can understand a bit. I can understand it a bit. Yes, of course, Sandblast. Definitely have heard of this project. I wish this had been made. Die Hard and Cliffhanger in a Sandstorm. An ex-landmine expert leading commandos into the An ex-landmine expert leading commandos into the Iraqi desert after the Gulf War to find lost nuclear warheads while battling a sandstorm and traitorous Green Berets led by a villain. Yeah, Eddie Murphy was at first going to star. And I actually have a Cinescape magazine that announced that Eddie Murphy to star in Sandblast. They would have been after Vampire in Brooklyn. He dropped out to star in Metro, which I like Metro. What does he say? He signed on for $10 million? Jean-Claude Van Damme offered the villain role. Van Damme refused to play a villain who dies, leading to the film's cancellation. Though Warner Bros. Honored Stipe's $10 million commitment by casting him in Murder at 1600, which I like that movie, but Van Damme... It's funny how he says, I can't play a villain who dies. Lo and behold, years later, now that his ego is a bit out the door, Enemies Closer, he played a villain who died. Expendables 2, he played a villain who died. He was kind of a villain, and he did die in Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning. And then, what was the other one? Swelter? He was like a group of people, and he dies. That UFO Alien Uprising movie that his daughter started, he had a cameo, and then he dies. So, he died a lot later on, so... See, unlike Seagal, his ego did dwindle a bit as years went on, because it had to. But I'll commend Van Damme for that, but man, I wish... Like, dude, you know what? Dolph Lundgren died for you in Universal Soldier, the character, that is. I mean, if Dolph Lundgren can do it, you could have done it as well, man. Man, that's a shame. Because I would like to have seen that. I mean, I would have liked to have seen the Eddie Murphy version of Sandblast. I like that idea of a landmine expert. That just kind of an interesting, different take on a lead action character. And then years and years later, what was that film? The Hardcore? The director who did Double Impact and Sheldon Lettich, he was doing The Hardcore, and he's like, well, we could did Van Damme and Wesley Snipes, but it's like, he was told, well, their audience, the same amount of people are going to buy it whether Van Damme or Snipes are in it. So if you have one of them and you pay them the money, the amount of people that buy or rent that movie will be the same. It's not like you get the other guy, like Wesley Snipes, is going to double. It was going to be the same, but you paid more money. And I'm like, yeah, it'd be a better fucking movie. But, I mean, you know, it is how it is. Schoolhouse Rock. I remember Schoolhouse Rock. I don't know how you could make that into a movie, though. Screaming Steel. In the late 1970s, James Cameron and Randolph Freites developed Screaming Steel, a dystopian sci-fi story about teen motorcycle gangs battling oppressive elites in a post-apocalyptic 2017 LA, which evolved from Freites' Chariots project and incorporated techno-barbarian characters from Cameron's Necropolis novel. He wrote a draft of the film after Aliens and hired multiple screenwriters, including J.F. Lawton. His 1991 draft is available online, but the project never materialized as Cameron became occupied with The Abyss, Terminator 2, and eventually Avatar, which notably reused elements from Screaming Steel's climactic battle sequence. Teens battling the government using their motorcycles. I don't know why it makes me think of Red Dawn, but you know, James Cameron at the time, sure, I would have been curious, but I mean, I like The Abyss, I like T2, I like True Lies. Maybe after True Lies, or Aliens was 86. The Abyss was 89, but it took a while to film The Abyss, so he couldn't do it then. I mean, yeah, it would have been interesting. Ah, yes, of course. One of the big films I wish we could have had. They died in Vietnam. They came home for Christmas. I like that. Yes, Shadow Company. I remember being blown away when I heard this was a possible thing. Shane Black and Fred Decker writing the film, John Carpenter directing the film, Walter Hill producing the film, Kurt Russell starring in the film, where Vietnam War Special Forces soldiers get resurrected from the grave and terrorize a town during Christmas time. Of course, Shane Black, it's gotta be Christmas time. Kurt Russell the star. Can also do the pre-production problems. I'd love to know what the fuck those pre-production problems were and fix it. The fact we didn't get... Think of all the shitty films we've gotten throughout the decades. Throughout the 90s, throughout the 2000s, nowadays. All the horrible, shitty, terrible, dumb fucking movies we did. And we could not get this. We did a Crow reboot, and all the fucking money wasted. Get this actor, get this actor. All that fucking money wasted. And time wasted. On a film that just flopped anyway. That pisses me off, man. That's why I get pissed at some of these shitty fucking films. You wonder why I get so fucking passionate about some of these shitty fucking films. I go, that fucking money was wasted on this bullshit, but... You know, whether it came out in 95 or 2005 or 2000, and money that could have been put into this and fix whatever pre-production problems and this be a reality. I want to live in the world where this was a thing. God damn it. That's what pisses me off. Shut up, Bones. What the fuck? On an episode of his talk show, Arsenio Hall mentioned that he had been pitched this project about a dog detective. He rejected it immediately. Yeah, I don't blame him. But I could buy it. I mean, what, David Arquette was in C-Spot Run, and I mean, there's a lot of weird plots, you know. I mean, Air Bud, the dog that you play basketball, and that was a hit. I think they're doing a reboot of Air Bud for next year. Because the world needs that. Fuck's sake. Slaughterhouse 5, I've heard of the story, I never read it. Billy Pilgrim, an American soldier, becomes unstuck in time, traveling back and forth through his life experiences while dealing with post-war psychological trauma. Story centers on Billy's survival of the Allied firebombing of Dresden as a POW, an experience Kurt Vonnegut himself endured. I do like the poster. I think it's a very artistic, like, colorful poster. Especially like this part here with the, like, the hand, like, whatever, the eye. That definitely stuck out in a good way. There's another film called Slaughterhouse 5. I don't know if it has anything to do with this, though. Or if it's a different thing. I mean, I'd be curious to see how it came about. Oh, wow. The Human Torch movie. No. The Stars, My Destination. Some journeys are not meant for flesh. John Carpenter has cited Alfred Bester's The Stars, My Destination about a road sighted seeking revenge in a future where teleportation... Wait, a road sighted seeking revenge in a future where teleportation exists as his dream project. The greatest sci-fi novel to movie of all time. It nearly happened in 1985, but Carpenter walked away due to creative differences over the screenplay, which wanted to make it the Count of Monte Cristo in space and change the ending. Why? Budget concerns about doing it cheaply, and his eventual conclusion that some sequences were simply unfilmable, though he still expressed interest in the project as recently as 2022. Well, there you go. If I talked to John Carpenter, I'd ask him about this, because I guarantee you no one else has asked him about this. And is in the book, or in the... Does this happen in the book, where the guy's all on fire for some reason? He's a psychic, and teleportation is this. I'm curious to know what more of the story deals with space and him on fire, and what about the story made Carpenter love it so much? I'd be curious about that. That's what I'd be curious about. Like, I don't know anything about this. Like, tell me about it, dude. And don't be grumpy. Don't be a grumpy fuck either. I'm asking a sincere question. You know. So there you go. Man. You know what? That title sounds familiar, and I always thought the title was stupid. Steel Donkeys. Like, that's... Yeah, no one would make it... Like, you'd have to change the title. But yeah, in the early 90s, Jean-Claude Van Damme was set to star a horror thriller based on Richard Stanley's spec script that Sam Raimi would produce and possibly direct. Van Damme as the leader of a gang of thieves who accidentally release an alien shape-shifting demon while robbing an Amsterdam bank during Queen's Day Festival, forcing them to fight for survival against both the demon and a police siege in an extremely violent and gory tale. Okay, Van Damme versus an alien shape-shifting demon and possibly Sam Raimi directing? Sign me up. Sign me up. And violent gory tales? Sign me the fuck up. Sign me up. Again, we can't get movies like this. But we did fucking 3 goddamn Popeye horror films. Sweetheart, Achi County by Jas Stanley, that Patty Jenkins was attached to direct in 2014, following a female assassin who attempts to leave her daily profession but gets dragged back in after a high school reunion and one night stand. Despite being described as a more lighthearted take on the assassin genre, the project never moved forward as Jenkins pursued other films. It just seems like I would just watch Grosse Point Blank. That's what this feels like, a female Grosse Point Blank. And I'm like, number 1, Aubrey Plaza, no. Number 2, Patty Jenkins, no. Number 3, I'll just watch Grosse Point Blank, so this would be a big definitive no for me. The Tempest, William Shakespeare's final play. Prospero, who is overthrown by his brother and exiled to a remote island with his daughter Miranda. Using magic he learned during his exile, Prospero conjures a storm to shipwreck his treacherous brother and other enemies on the island. Yeah, I'm not into Shakespeare. I wouldn't care to see this film. I'd be like, good luck on you. Poster's pretty cool. The idea wouldn't be for me. No. They Bite. 1975. John Carpenter and Dan O'Bannon planned to collaborate on a sci-fi film about ferocious insects that could imitate anything, which Carpenter admitted was patently ripped off from John Campbell's Who Goes There. Partnership dissolved. O'Bannon took over the project, eventually repurposed many of his ideas to the script for Alien, though he still hoped to publish They Bite as a novel. Nature took millions of years to perfect the ultimate predator. U.S. Bioresearch Zone keep out. They Bite. What Sleeps Beneath Still? You know what? I actually like that poster. This is actually one of my favorite posters in this. Because I like how like the edges look faded, like it's an older poster. I love the color scheme. Just the colors, just striking to me. And the font of the text. And insects that could imitate anything. I'll be curious how the fuck these insects imitate a human or an animal. Like, okay, it's one thing like maybe imitate the noises, but how the fuck do they imitate the people? I mean, do they go into person? They come out and then it's so small. Do they grow? I mean, I guess it was explained in the screenplay, but I would have been curious. I would have been curious to see. The Tourist, Among Us, Forgotten, Waiting to Go Home. Unmade 70s, 80s sci-fi film written by Claire Noto about Grace Ripley, a beautiful Manhattan executive who is secretly an exiled alien living among humans, who gets caught up in a deadly search for another alien who may have found a way to escape Earth. Despite being considered one of the greatest unproduced scripts and attracting interest from American zoetrope, Dino De Laurentiis and Universal, with H.R. Dieter created extensive concept art, the project never came to fruition for various reasons. I never heard of this, but that's interesting that it was such a beloved script and yet never got made. So there you go. Definitely curious. Especially H.R. Dieter involved with the designs. Valiant. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Vivian hasn't been herself lately. A young married couple struggles to survive against a supernatural entity still in development. One of Duffield's earliest scripts that put him on the Hollywood map. I don't know who Duffield is, but that plot synopsis doesn't really sound that interesting. A couple deal with a ghost. I feel like I've seen that movie dozens of times, but I don't know. That's just me. Oh my god. You just brought the nostalgia back to me, man. Holy shit. I remember this book. I remember having this book. Sally, I sincerely now want to go on eBay and try to find these it was this and there was another one. These books. I sincerely want to go and find these books. God, that you just hit me with the nostalgia train full force in my chest. I have not thought of this in decades, man. Oh shit. I read these as a kid, like the pictures and oh my god, you hit man. I It's such that I don't have this book. I swear there's another one too. Or maybe they're confused with something else, but man, I definitely want to look through that book again one day. Cause so yeah, I see the movie, but man, I remember that man. Shel Silverstein. There was another one. Silverstein. I can't remember the name of it though. I'd have to look it up. Sure, I'll see that movie. I'll see that movie and shit over it, but I'll see that movie. And you know you would too. Jesus Christ. I'll see that fucking movie. God damn. Concept art for unmade Stallone projects. Him and Angela Lansbury. Seagal and Stallone. Kits Seagal's ass. High Roller. That was pretty cool. Favorite. Okay, this is my favorite art right now. This is my favorite. I gotta move it so like look at. Oh man, that's the thumbnail. This is the thumbnail. This is the thumbnail. Oh my god! I just creamed my pants. Cream my pants. Yep, gotta clean it. Cream my pants. Cream my pants. Oh my god! Like that looks so cool. How the hell did you do that? Like, did you say like art? Like I want Stallone fighting a tiger in L.A. And how do you deal with that artwork? Does the artwork, is there like a certain art you do with the prompt? Man, like I want to see that like isobar. Can you do that? Like look at the script of Isobar and make like a bunch of these? Like artwork like Isobar the movie, man. See, I wish I knew how to do that. I'd be like, let me look at Isobar. Like someone needs to do like take Isobar and like since we'll never see the film, like this is what the film would have been as much as you. Oh man, someone needs to do that. I'm not going to be Mr. Blockworld. You do that, goddammit. But I'm sorry. What I liked about it is that it's the film we never got to see that I would love to have seen, and this is the closest they would get to it. Who knows? I mean, with AI, maybe they'll take scenes like this, and then maybe like. Is there a program like you could take pictures and then they move? And who knows, with AI voice, maybe they'll do like Stallone. I mean, I know there's the ethical questions about that. There's just that greedy part of me that's like, I would love to see the movies we didn't get to see. Yeah, Wallace Shawn. I mean, he did say these are parodies. I might have fucked up the... Damn it, I might have fucked up the thing. But yeah. Oh, God. Those were Peter Dinklage and Melissa McCarthy. Jesus Christ. I won't kneel before any of you. Cellophanes, yeah. They might as well have sold them. They sold all the other shit. I still never understood. I mean, I like Superman too, but I never understood that power. He just had this thing in his chest that did that. Like, what? I never understood that. I never understood what the fuck that was. And where did it come from? He just peels it? Phantom Zone Mirror. That's kind of funny. Foil your foes with the Phantom Zone Mirror. Trap annoying coworkers, bad bosses, former girlfriends, former friends, and former boyfriends, or anyone. Made on Krypton. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Me and Alfred man, Alfred Newman stole my hat. That is awesome. That was cool. I never thought I'd see the day where I'm side by side with Alfred E. Newman. Got the same teeth too. Stole my teeth too. Well, I guess I stole his. Fine, I stole your teeth and then he stole my fucking hat. That's okay. That's a favorite of mine too. Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. What? Me worry? These are fun. These are so much fun to do. I don't know how many of these he have. He may get tired of them. I'll say this, dude. Do as many as you can, man, because I would never get tired of them. But that's up to him, though, if he wants to send in the requests and all that stuff. But I definitely won't be tired of it. These are a lot of fun. I like the creativity. I like the surprise. Like this is a nice surprise. That's really awesome. That's really cool. So thank you for that. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Thank you guys. Thank you, Mr. Blockworld. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.